Well, the sport just keeps coming. The huge prize money's there, along with the jockeys and the thoroughbreds. But this year, a day out at two of racing's marquee events looks a little different. There were smaller crowds for the Everest in Sydney and none at all for Melbourne's CAULFIELD Cup.
Looking at the bare stands, you wouldn't realise the CAULFIELD Cup was underway.
Sets, and they're racing.
But at home, punters were cheering. The Greens hadn't physically missed a race day in 15 years, so this was a first.
We just don't miss, yeah. I know I was at a wedding, but I still managed to go for one race, so we're mad.
But home has its perks.
Take your shoes off early if you want.
Exactly.
But first, a selfie. This year, when it came to fashions, fillies and frocks, lounge rooms featured.
So entries for our social style stakes are staying open till 8 o'clock tonight.
Even the horses were draped in new threads.
Every saddle cloth will have a member's name. All our members' names will be printed across the 18 horses.
Members feeling so close, yet so far.
Well, but it's in there somewhere, nice and small, so yeah.
Just 220 people were on the turf today, a far cry from the usual 30,000 strong crowd. And while the main gates at CAULFIELD were practically abandoned, Sydney's Royal Randwick was a hive of activity, with 11,000 racegoers able to attend the Everest. What a contrast. The binoculars were out as bookies basked in the sun, as COVID precautions kept spectators safe.
Thermal imaging cameras at some of the main gates. There's temperature testing at every gate.
While masks weren't fashionable on the field, they were a must for staff.
In Sydney, it's its time to shine in spring in racing.
Showing off a sold-out crowd. Christina Costalis for 10 News First.
And Mount Panorama there to horsepower of a different sort, and the Chris Waller train, Very Elegant, has toughed it out to claim the time-honoured CAULFIELD Cup. Earlier, Karen McAvoy conquered Everest for a third time, the South Australian bolting to victory aboard classic legend.
Sydney's new money answer to the Cup Carnival is growing by the year. The best sprinters in the land set to dash for more than $6 million in cash. The pace was red hot, which was all Karen McAvoy needed to flash home on the favourite.
Here he comes, classic legend, storms to the front and kicked away. The grey flash is now an Everest legend.
McAvoy conquering Everest for a third time.
It's extra special, that's for sure.
Veteran trainer Les Bridge proving age is no barrier to preparing fast and furious horses.
This horse, he's got a girth on him that deep, and he's just got a big V8 motor.
No crowds in Melbourne, but a tradition dating back to 1879.
Sets, and they're racing in the CAULFIELD Cup.
A stacked-up field headed into the finish as Irish raider Anthony Van Dyke loomed a danger. But the Waller-trained Very Elegant was just too tough.
Very Elegant and Anthony Van Dyke, it's all class. Very Elegant in front, and the man won it. Very Elegant beat Anthony Van Dyke.
I told the missus to put about 10 bottles of champagne on ice, and I suppose all we can do is drink them together.
Chris Waller toasting his first CAULFIELD Cup from Randwick.
Very special win with a very special horse. She's tough, and I thought she was beaten, to tell you the truth, at 100-metre mark.
Nick Butler for 10 News First.
And to cap off a massive weekend in sport, Chris, the Super Netball Grand Final tomorrow, the Vixens taking on the Fever. We will have a full wrap-up on 10 News First tomorrow.
That will be a great game.
Can't wait.
Thanks, Rose. Coming up next, Charlotte Goodlip is back with the latest weather forecast for you. You're right there.
Big day of racing now, and leading trainer Chris Waller is celebrating tonight after securing his maiden CAULFIELD Cup with Very Elegant. The $5 million classic living up to all expectations with a grandstand finish. Braden Ingram with more.
It had the grandeur of its time-honoured status, yet on this, the 144th running, something was clearly missing. Nevertheless, a place in racing history was there for the taking.
Sets, and they're racing in the CAULFIELD Cup.
With 600 to run, there was little room to move.
It's only 8 lengths first to last
before the two pre-race favourites made their play.
Very Elegant and Anthony Van Dyke, it's all class. Very Elegant in front, and the man won it.
Very Elegant pipping European stayer Anthony Van Dyke, and the chosen one to return $4.90 the win. Seemingly a big night at home looms for jockey Mark Zara.
Tell the missus to put about 10 bottles of champagne on ice, and I I suppose all we can do is string them together.
While for acclaimed trainer Chris Waller, one of the few major trophies to elude him is now in his keeping.
Very special wins with a very special horse. She's tough.
Smoke descended on Randwick ahead of the world's richest race on turf, but there'd be no hiding this display.
Here he comes, the Seat Legend storms to the front and kicked away. The grey flash is now an Everest legend.
Classic Legend taking out the $15 million Everest. A third win in just 4 editions of the event for Karen McAvoy. The only ones more excited, his 4 young children and wife Kathy.
It's an extra special day.
While 82-year-old trainer Les Bridge added to his already celebrated career, having previously won the 1983 Golden Slipper and 1987 Melbourne Cup.
Some horses just get all the good genes, and he's just got a big V8 motor. It's unbelievable.
Braden Ingram, 9 News.